Alright, let's take a look at something. 4-5. Can't remember if I signed it. Did I assign you anything on 4-5? Worksheet 4-5? Would have been using the quotient rule maybe. I just don't recall. I didn't write my book because I'm pathetic. I think I assigned it, but I can't remember if I did or didn't. Does anyone recall? 1 through 7? Cool. Okay, thank you. All right, let's take a look at 1 through 7, see how we do. First one, we have this. All right. They want you to find the derivative of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into this. Okay? So it's no longer a fraction because I move whatever's out of the denominator up. And then we want to go and do something called the power rule. All right. So, this is going to work this way. Let me just make sure I can do that the right way. All right. So first thing I want to do is I want to do the derivative. If I want to find the derivative of this, I'm going to take care of the outside first. So I'm going to get the negative 3 x squared plus 2. And this is now raised to the negative 4 because I subtract 1 from it. And then I do the derivative of the inside, so then I get to this. You could clean this up a little bit. This right here is to a negative exponent, so you could get negative 3, actually, negative 6x on top because this 3 times this 2, all over x squared plus 2 to the negative 4. Okay? So it's a matter of just taking your time. So remember when you're doing the power rule, you do the outside derivative times the inside times inside derivative. DER. Okay? Questions on how we did that? And don't worry, when you see these derivatives, you will have actually I will be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Friday, there will be a quiz on Schoology, and it's just all class the entire time. Okay? Like, each of you do your own. So I have the same sub all 3 days. I don't know if they're much math-based. Wednesday and Thursday, what I'll do is I'll have a video posted on Schoology. Just click on that, watch it on your phone or computer, figure out what we're doing, and then go from there. Cool? Hey, how do you be?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. All right. We're on 4-5. All right, problem number 2. Problem number 2, we have g at x is equal to x squared plus 4x raised to the minus 2. So do the derivative of the outside first, so that's going to become g prime at x is going to be negative 2 x squared plus 4x, so times what's inside. Subtract 1 from that exponent, so negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And then times the derivative of the inside, which is going to give you 2x plus 4. Clean it up a little bit. This is going to become a denominator. And then you could distribute this over this. So I'm going to get negative 4x minus 8 all over x squared plus 4x raised to the third. The reason it changes to a positive is I moved that quantity raised to the negative third to the denominator, so the sign on the outside would change. And this is our derivative. Woohoo! Fun stuff. Questions about what we just did so far? I will tell you, this is taught in BC Calc in about 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're expected to know it. Not in Stripes class. May I move on to number 3? Number 3, we have y equals the square root of x squared plus 4x plus 5. Like, how do I do this? Hey, good to see you, my friend. How do I do something? We're on 4.5. So I need to get that radical to be gone. So I'm going to put this as an entire quantity. Put this in parentheses. And the square root is the 1/2 power. So if I take the derivative of it, bring the 1/2 down front, times the original, subtract 1 from the top, which is the same thing as going minus 2 over 2. So this becomes the negative 1/2 power. Then times the derivative of the inside. So that's 2x plus 4. And then we can kind of start putting stuff back together. I can go 1/2 times this. So that's going to give me x plus 2 on top over x squared plus 4x plus 5 raised to the 1/2 power. It moved down, so it's no longer a negative exponent. You can even clean it up a little bit further to make this become this. And that's our derivative. Okay? So a little bit different. Basically, the derivatives are allowing you, for the first derivative, are allowing you to figure out a couple of things so far we've talked about. If you were to want to find what the tangent line at a point would be on this particular graph. All right, ready for number 4? Number 4, y equals this quantity and this quantity. All right, so these are two quantities. Neither of the quantities outside the parentheses are raised to a power, so this is not power rule. This is going to be product rule. So remember, product rule is if I have quantity A and quantity B and I'm multiplying them together, I got to look it up because I only teach it once a year. So in order to find the derivative, it's A times the derivative of B plus B times the derivative of A. Okay, so if I call this up here A, I call this here B. So to find the derivative, I'm going to do A, which is the quantity as is, times the derivative of B, which is going to give me 2x minus 2, then plus B, which is x squared minus 2x times the derivative of the first, so that's times 5. You can clean it up a little bit. So FOIL this together. That's going to give me 10x squared minus 10x plus 6x minus 6 plus 5x squared minus 10x. I think that's right. And then if we clean it up, y prime equals, let's see, 10x squared added to 5x squared is 15x squared. This and this I'm going to combine together. It's going to give me negative 20x and then minus 6. So there's our derivative. questions so far? We good? Number 5, we have P is equal to Q squared plus 3 over 2Q minus 1. This is a fraction, so we're going to use the quotient rule. And the quotient rule is if I add y equals a over b, where a and b are some sort of polynomials. Quotient rule is going to be, I'll make it simple. So it's going to be b times derivative of a minus a times the derivative of b all over b squared. Alright, so if I want to find the derivative of this, so b is the bottom, so 2q minus 1 times the derivative of the top. Derivative of the top is just going to give me 2q minus a, which is the top, q squared plus 3 times the derivative of the bottom, which is times 2, all over the denominator quantity squared. I guess you could clean it up a little bit as far as quotient rules go, but I'd say if you get to this point, you're probably good. Just realize you probably have to clean it up. Oh, let's clean it up a little bit. So cleaned up derivative is going to be 4q, oh, that's not a q, 4q squared minus 2q minus 2q squared minus 6 all over, no reason to clean this to the bottom up. Then I can combine those like terms, so that's going to give me p prime is equal to 2q squared minus 2q minus 6 all over 2q minus 1 quantity squared. So quotient rule gets a little goofier, but it's just a matter of kind of simplifying it, going through, taking care of it. Ew. Number 6 is not looking pretty. Alright, number 6. Alright, the problem with number 6, you have a product rule and a quotient rule in one. And that gets a little dicey when we start doing it. So what I would do on this situation is I would FOIL out the top before I do anything. So that's going to give me x squared minus x minus 2 over x squared plus 1. So again, now this is a quotient rule. Remember, if I had a over b, where a and b are some sort of polynomial, the derivative was b times derivative of a minus a times the derivative of b all over b squared. Alright, so f prime at x, b, which is the bottom, is x squared plus 1. Derivative of the top is 2x minus 1 minus the top, which is x squared minus x minus 2 times the derivative of the bottom, which is 2x, all over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. Maybe we can clean it up. FOIL the first, that's going to give me 2x to the third minus x squared plus 2x minus 1 minus 2x to the third plus 2x squared plus 4x all over this. Clean that top up a little bit. So let's see. This and this, they cancel each other out because they're opposite. Combine this and this, that's going to give me x squared. This and this is going to give me plus 6x minus 1. That will not factor. all over x squared plus 1, quantity squared. Yeesh. And then, and I know I just went really fast over those first 6. Is there questions I can help you with? I can go back to any of the questions. Hopefully you're writing them down. Okay. Last question. Number 7, we had y equals x to the third plus 2x raised to the fourth. Okay, we want to evaluate what the tangent equation is at 2. So this is a power rule. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my x minus 2 and let's figure out my point. So it's going to be 2 comma something. So I'm going to plug 2 in. So that's 248 plus 4 raised to the fourth. 12 to the fourth power. 12 to the fourth. So 20,736. Yeesh. So there's our point. Next I want to find the derivative. So I'm going to take the derivative of the outside 4 times the inside. Subtract 1 from that, so I get to that, times the derivative of the inside, which is 3x squared plus 2. Oh my goodness. Now we want to find the slope. So I'm going to take that 2 and plug it in. And this is frightening that we have a problem like this, but hey, we'll see. We do the best we can with it. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 4, this is going to give me 12. So I get 4 times 12 to the third. That's times 2 squared is 4, times 3 is 12, that's 14. 4 times 12 to the third. 4 times 12 to the third, plus times 14. 96,768. I'll tell you what, whatever teacher gave you this should probably get their eyebrows shaved off. This is a bad one. Holy cow. Alright, this is x1, this is y1. Here's our slope. So I'm going to get y minus 20736 equals slope of 96768, x minus 2. Oh my gosh. That is the equation of the line tangent to the given equation at that given point. Hey Brian, did you get a call about that? I do have her stuff, just let you know, I'll secure it after class, so it's not a, she came in, so she can have her money. Okay, she's just down the hall, right? She came in here and during, oh, she's in there right now. Yeah. Right. All right. Let's see, what are we're going to work on today? You guys want 2 problems to try? So 4-5, would you try number 8 and 9? So they're both going to be ones. try it. See if you can figure out 8 and 9. That's all I got for you. If you missed first part of this period, would you scan that QR code, tell me what I can do better for you? Give me some advice.